Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Hand of Fate. I'm Nye.
Back so soon? I knew you would not falter.
Occasionally, our dealer friend changes up what he has to say to us depending on what we've recently beaten. Let's see what he has to say today.
Ah, good. Now you understand the basics, we can begin in earnest. Your hero is returned to his beginning items. Our decks are reset. Welcome to the cabinet, home of the members of my court.
So you'll notice there's an endless mode. It's currently locked. We can't mess with that yet. We'll talk about that in the future. Let's go look at the cabinet. So you'll notice that there are 12 cards total on the left-hand side in blue. Those are his court cards. I have to beat every single one of them in order to beat the game. You'll also notice that there's red ones on the right-hand side that are emblazoned with my symbol, a symbol of my character. Those, well, we'll talk about those in an episode or two. Today, we're going to fight the Jack of Skulls. Serving as captains to squads of lesser skeletons, these unholy abominations strike fear into the hearts of all warm-blooded folk. For until this fiend is defeated, their legions are, effectively, endless. Now, court cards do more than just act scary and sit at the end of the dungeon waiting to fight you. They start up challenges, and challenges take multiple forms. Thankfully, the Jack of Skulls only comes with these ones. So the challenges in this case are adding cards to the deck. So he's going to add 3 extra of 2 of Skulls. So when the monster cards get shuffled into a deck for me, there's going to be 3 more 2 of Skulls than normally would be there. This can become problematic later. He also adds 3 times supplies. And I believe that's in our gain deck to give me more food, because we're still just kind of getting into the game. So we're going to choose him as our opponent.
Time for you to face my undead army. Meet the Jack of Skulls.
Now you'll notice the lights are coming on in the dome that we're in. On the left-hand side, you see a couple of statues. Now what you won't see now is the statue that used to be on the left-hand side. That was the statue of the Jack of Dust. One of the things I love about this game is just its attention to detail. The filigree on the table to the right, all the little etchings on the cabinet, on the look of the dealer's face at the top of the cabinet, things like the statues themselves. I love keeping an eye on them as watching as they fall. So now we go into the deck builder. And this is where the game continues to get interesting, because the game is about as easy or as hard as you care to make it within reason. So step 1 is Fate. This is something they added to the game a little bit after the game came out, and Fate changes the feeling of the game a little bit. What they do is it alters the game just a little to make it more interesting for you. So normally you have default mode, which is Adventurer. If you're having trouble with the game, or if you're just learning, you can go to Apprentice, which makes the player stronger in combat, enemies are weaker, but you can't get certain achievements, and it unlocks the Apprentice 1 card. Default mode does nothing. Warlord mode makes combat faster, so you move and attack faster, which is not actually necessarily a good thing. Enemies move and attack faster as well and inflict more damage, but our counterattacks do more damage. So this isn't necessarily just a weak, like us getting better. The enemies get better too, and I'm going to be playing on hard mode.
Done.
There's also card unlocks that go along with this. You'll notice there are others too. All of these bonuses later on. These are all downloadable content of the game. Make sure that you know these are here. And they tell you exactly what you're getting out of them, so you can decide if this is actually right for you or not. I haven't gotten them yet. So the game offers to build your decks for you. I don't like it. I'm going to show you why, because I like to be able to customize. So, if you've ever played Fallout, deck building in this is similar to Fallout New Vegas. Across the bottom are the cards that I currently have in my deck. I'm allowed to have up to 12 total. The cards up top are the ones I have available to me. Any card that says new is not only a card that I've not put in my deck, but it's a card I have not actually seen in the game yet. I kind of want to get rid of all the new stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a Desperate Measures. We're going to put in Fortitude's Breath, Chains of Rage, Medium Armor, and Mercenary Contract. But that puts me at 15 out of 12. I have to get rid of some of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop a shield, we're going to drop a sword, and we're going to drop an axe. So what this means is that my weapon deck is specifically Desperate Measures, Axe, and Sword. My shield deck is Fortitude's Breath, Shield, Shield. Armor deck is Chains of Rage, Medium Armor, so on and so forth. So I get to decide a little bit more on what I'm likely to pick up in the midst of the game. So now that's green, I'm ready to go, but my encounters haven't been met with either. So I've got my encounter deck, and these are, very specifically, the cards I can actually encounter in the game. Now, keep in mind that the champions that I face will actually add their own encounters, so I'm not 100% in control of what happens. But let's say, for example, that I don't like Ambush, I don't like Winding Trail. Those are cards that I don't appreciate and don't help me at all. I can just get rid of them. But keep in mind, every card has something that it may or may not do. It may not be good, but it will do it. So what I'm typically going to do is I'm going to put in cards that actually have a token that I can achieve. I'm not doing a local peasant for a reason. We'll talk about her later. I could get rid of Deadman's Gorge, but I actually like Deadman's Gorge a lot. It's a card I appreciate, and I tend to keep it in because the rewards are good. And that's the thing. It's a challenge card. It's a fight. You guys already saw that fight. But it gives me decent rewards, and that has me wanting to play. So now that we're done, we can start the game.
I will add my own cards to the deck.
So you see that he's actually adding his stuff. The music is pretty good. I really appreciate a lot of it. You'll notice he also has the shops. You can see how many shops you have. Typically, it's 1 or 2 shops per floor, so you can generally get an idea of how deep the level is actually going to be. You can see our monster deck there that he just put away.
Play for life and death. Prepare yourself.
Okay, sure. Step 1, Mr. Lionel.
I'm starting to wonder if you're simply leaving this card in as a quick way to get your hands on a shield.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So the dealer will comment on various cards, and sometimes he gives you hints, sometimes he doesn't. So you may not have known that you could get a shield out of this card. So the cards are the same no matter what, nothing changed. So what I mean by that is that the card could have changed. Things can change it. So for example, I don't have any gold, so I can't do that. That changed. Other cards can affect other cards. If I have certain equipment, that can affect cards, but the actual base effect of the card doesn't change. So I know what I'm going to get going in. I'm going to ask him for what he needs, and he's going to give me a free shield, which is going to be Fortitude's Breath, which is our really good one. Every third encounter does not consume food. Press B to shield bash a target, which stuns it. So it's a new ability. By encounter, it just means that every third step, we don't consume food. It's fine. Before you can stop Mr. Lionel within human speed, he snatches a pickled onion off your plate and sprints out the tavern door. I forgot to read that the first episode. Okay, so that's Mr. Lionel. So in hard mode, you notice our health is only at 90. Food dropped by 6. It's dropped by 5, sorry. It was 15 instead of 20. I don't know if that's actually in the base game. I don't know if that's just something from hard mode or if that's something that's natural to normal. I haven't played on normal, and I refuse to. So there you go. Take another step. So the card's face down. That means it's a new card. This is the river.
Running water protects against many things in myth. Generally, though, it's just a pain to get past.
So in a lot of these things, he says the same thing as a lot of the same comments, especially the first time you see cards. There are alternate comments, though. Your path is blocked by a river. The water is clear but fast-flowing. I think if you turn back, you literally just can't go past. You have to encounter the river again. That means you have to take 2 steps, one to get away from the card and one to come back. We're just going to attempt to cross the river. So you notice there's a huge success card. So that's really the one we want to go for.
Select your desire.
There we go. So huge success is typically the token card. It's also typically, kind of the best result, as you may have guessed. Your light armor makes the crossing easy, and you even stop to dive for some shiny stones on the riverbed that may fetch a few coins. The dealer draws you 1 gold gain card. I may not have been able to get that effect if I did not have light armor on at the moment. If I had had heavy armor, that probably wouldn't have been possible. So the cards will change. So we gain 15 gold.
I'm sure you are grateful for that.
Once on the other side of the river, you realize that one of the stones is, in fact, a ring. You put it away to have it cleaned and identified later, then continue on your journey. So now we got the token.
Is yours. Well done.
So it'll unlock more cards in the future. You notice that the river is still brightly colored. That means it's still there. Captain of the Guards.
I always thought it was best to avoid the problems of others. I see you have no such concerns.
Oh, I love getting other people's problems. You hear a shout from up ahead and the sounds of battle. Racing forward, you discover a warrior surrounded by undead. 2 skulls. Broken bones litter the area around the man, but there are still more closing in on him, and he appears badly injured. Stranger, he calls out as he throws his weapon to you. Here, take my mace and put an end to these monstrosities. So we get a mace. It does 27 damage, and it's holy.
It's a lump of iron on a stick. Not terribly subtle.
I love that comment. So equipments with the trait Holy strikes fear into the cold hearts of the undead. They will sustain more damage and may not be resurrected around such holy relics. So one of the effects of undead, we will equip that.
Really? Is that what you're going to do?
Yes. One of the things that undead can do is they can revive themselves, or their captains can revive them for them. But by beating the crap out of them with the holy item, they don't have that option. So here's the undead. Not that big of a deal. One thing that the undead get that most bandits do not is shields. Those shields will let them get back up. Or they will let them block. So I would have to normally shield bash. But when they're attacking, they don't have that block available to them. Good work putting them to rest. Keep the mace. We have enough back at Kadir, he says, slowly standing. We've been hearing reports of undead in our kingdom recently, and I came to investigate. He stops to look around at all the bone fragments. More of them here than I expected. Some new horror must have decided to settle in these parts and brought its minions. I must head back to the capital and report this to the Duke. Watch your step, friend. There's something more powerful at work than just these skeletons. The card's token is now mine. Generally, for these first couple episodes, we're going to gain a lot of tokens very quickly. Twisted Canyon.
It lives in every game. That initial moment where things begin. I have worked on these cards all my days, and the canyon has been there from the outset.
I think that's actually a developer comment put into the game. We're going to climb down and retrieve the weapon because there's no real reason not to. We have a 1 in 4 chance of actually failing this. And I did it. Whoops. You begin to make your way down the cliff face, but soon slip and fall painfully onto the rocks below. The dealer draws you 1 health pain card. So we lose 5 health. I'll gain that back on my next step. You retrieve the weapon from the ancient corpse anyways. Draw 1 weapon card. So axe. I'm trying to thin that so I can get desperate measures. We'll take their stairs. See? Back to full health.
If you dare. Many have reached this far. Further, in fact. I do not know if you have what it takes to do better than they did.
We'll find out soon. Step 1. Maze of traps.
A cave, traps, and the hope of treasure. It's all I could ask for, and more.
You found a goblin treasure cave. Will you enter? Yes. Yes, I will. So the Maze of Traps is a card that recurs. It has multiple different versions that you may encounter, and is generally exactly what it sounds like. It is a maze full of traps.
To raise the stakes. The arena itself will fight against you. Beware of my traps.
So I don't know if the traps are not activated in arenas until this card is meant to introduce you to traps. But now we have traps. There's a variety of different types. This tends to introduce you to each one. Traps deal, I believe, a fixed amount of damage. You don't want to take them, so there's 11 damage to me because I got hit by the fire trap. Generally, traps are pretty easy to dodge for the most part. It's mostly just rolling as much as you possibly can, a little bit of timing, stuff like that. I don't know how I got hit by that. And I'm here at the end. A little bit more damage than I would have liked to take, but that's fine. We reached the end. There are worse arenas. We draw 3 gain cards. Having survived the traps, we loot the chest. 25 gold. 15 gold. And draw 3, select 1 to keep in the armory. So there's Desperate Measures. We'll just go ahead and pick that up. It deals 32 damage.
I'm impressed.
And it...
Few select these sorts of weapons because nobody ever anticipates being in peril. Such misplaced confidence is usually their downfall.
This mace inflicts more damage the lower the health of the wielder is. Well, it deals a lot of damage, so we're just going to go ahead and pick that up. After safely opening the chest, the traps lay dormant, and you make your way back to safety. The card's token is now mine. Let's go ahead and go to the left here. Warlord 1. So this has to do with the fact that I have the Warlord bandana because I chose hard mode.
There's a token in it for you if you win.
Rumors of a temple to a long-forgotten god lure you to a desolate wasteland. You complete the necessary blood ritual in order to gain the attention of the deity. Its presence fills your mind, bringing you to your knees. What do you seek, mortal? A thunderous voice in your mind demands. Power, you respond, with what determination you can muster in the face of such a being. Power to crush my enemies. Many a mortal has begged for my favor, the entity responds. I will tell you where the power may be found, but you must recover it yourself. Hidden in the valley of the hill giants, there's a cave. Inside that cave lies what you seek. Suddenly, it withdraws to its own realm, leaving you breathless and alone.
Take the token. It is yours.
Okay. So we'll just keep moving. The Maiden.
Given how rarely one encounters the folk, you are fortunate indeed to meet Merith again. Or perhaps we are merely cycling around the wheel and dipping into the same memories time and time again.
I think it's that second one. One day in Shady Forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you. I am Merith, blah 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 blah, what would you like? Give me longer life. As you wish, Merith mutters and waves her hand. Light shines from your skin. We get 1 max health gain card. Gain 5. Fine.
A little extra health, but it is only a momentary respite.
The elders of our kind often say that we must retread paths we once took in order to gain an advantage in the present. Farewell. I don't know if that's to tell you, like, to go right here and just and go back left, or if that's a statement of you'll have to go back to certain cards to actually get the rewards of them. It could be either way. So we'll see if he has anything. Chains of Rage. Medium armor. So medium armor means it slows me a little bit. During combat, strikes and sustained from bows and wands have a chance to restore your cooldowns. We don't have any cooldowns right now, so it's kind of pointless, and it's also expensive. Medium armor provides good protection against physical harm with minimal restriction on movement. Healing cap I could get, but it would replace my bandana, and I think I'm bitching my bandana. And then, of course, Rusty Axe. I don't even know how this got into the shop, because it's something you just have no matter what. Let's go ahead and buy it. No, I'm not going to buy that. So do I want to go for better armor? Nah. I mentioned that there's the new icon on cards. As soon as you see the card, it doesn't count as new anymore. So you don't have to pick it up.
But you will also heal as you proceed.
You don't have to pick it up. You just have to see it.
Good. Now all you need to do is find and kill the Jack of Skulls, and we can progress.
So that's the indication the Jack of Skulls is on this floor. Bandit attack. New card.
Our bandits are displeased with your challenges.
A group of bandits suddenly attacks. The King of Dust isn't happy about you killing his men. 1 monster card, 2 of dust, and I scoff. Now you may have noticed that last game, the 2 of dust did not have that pip. You know, it had 1 of 3 red pips. That's an indication of upgrades. Enemies get upgraded over time, and these guys have just gotten their first ones. They're a little bit better than they were last time. Not that it's going to matter. Now keep in mind, my hammer gets better the more I lose health. I'm not going to lose health on purpose. See? Bitch and bandana. So you may have noticed that while one of the bandits was on the ground, I swung repeatedly at him. That seems to be the replacement for the finishing move that there was in beta. I think the finishing move was just either too powerful or just wasn't available enough. As long as you can get 3 attacks off, you will attempt to perform a finishing move. Some enemies will be able to be affected, some are not. Many dodge if they have too much health. Among the bodies, you find a scrap of parchment with a rough description of you, plus an offer of reward from the King of Dust. We draw 1 gain card and gain 5 food. Dead King's Hall, another one of my favorite cards.
If it were not for greed, then who would play at this game?
You see an ancient, ornate coffin in the main burial chamber. It may hold spectacular wealth, but it will surely be guarded. We can attempt to take them by surprise.
For you to deal with.
Okay, so we have 2 huge success and 2 failure cards. Huge success. So a huge success in this card says that suddenly you leap into the fray, taking one of them down before they can even react, which means that I get to just get rid of one of these cards. So now I only have to face the one. All of a sudden, being outnumbered is no longer as big of a deal, so you can typically, if you can succeed in this card, you can typically get rid of whatever enemy actually scares you and just face the easier ones. This can be very important in some cases if you're trying to do very specific things. For me, it's just making a faster combat. You loot the room. We gain the token and we draw 3 more gain cards, including an extra equipment, healing cap.
In my day, we simply avoided being wounded. Healing will suffice, however.
See, I don't know what increases the wearer's determination to succeed is. And I don't need healing, so we're just going to put that away.
That's the right approach.
Gain 5 food. There's the supplies card. And
small benefit. I will not be so graceful for long.
we gain 5 max health, bringing us up to our full 100. The dealer's letting us know that eventually he'll be putting harder cards in, so the game's difficulty does gradually ramp up. Even though I control what cards are put in on my end, he will gradually put in harder cards on his. In a shady grove off the beaten trail, you find a traveling merchant looking to trade with wandering adventurers. Mages sell only specific items that they've discovered in faraway lands. Their prices can be high, but they also pay well for anything that catches their interest. So, change the sell price depending on what you actually have available to you. Let's see, there's the Dragon Ring. While all Dragon Relics are equipped, receive plus 50% to max health and full healing after every combat. We have to have all Dragon Relics to actually do that, so it's not worth it. Plunderer's Cap. Used to be broken as hell and is no longer so. When you drop supplies, instead draw 2 and pick 1. Only counts for food draws now. Alchemical Silver. Press right bumper to attack faster with each successful strike. The longer your combo, the more explosive the reaction. We're just going to go ahead and pick that up.
A wonderful creation, forged of alchemical processes, but given permanent shape. I know of nothing like it. Artifacts give you powerful abilities to use in combat.
We know that. We've done this before. Devil's Choice.
I like this demon. He lies as often as he tells the truth.
Meaning there's a 50-50 chance of this going my way. A cloaked devil appears in your path. I'm here to test your strength, so-called hero. Choose your foe. So he gives us a choice of 3, and here's the thing. Either he will give me who I choose, or he'll make me face the other 2. Since that is whom you wish to fight, I think today I shall make you fight the others instead, just for fun. So this one really depends on what you think you can beat, because things do get harder with Devil's Choice as time goes on. It's got good rewards, definitely, but you've got to decide. So what ends up happening is you have to decide, am I going to go with, the hardest one and, hope I do okay, or am I going to, try to go for an easy one and hope he gives it to me? And Desperate Measures says, screw you. Didn't use Alchemical Silver because there was basically no reason to. I'm just going to save it for the next fight. Excellent, the devil cries. You have passed my cunning test. Have some treasure. Perhaps next time our paths cross, I'll kill you myself. We get our token and 3 more gain cards, including 3 food I'll never have time to use. A free equipment, medium armor. Sure, I'll wear that.
Average. What do you expect me to say?
And we gain 15% max health.
Armor protects you from damage. The best armor, of course, does so much more.
And now, the Jack of Skulls. This tenacious...
Undead. Of all the players in the game, these are the most dangerous in the world.
So he says.
Yet in no natural form. A wrongness, an error, cheating.
Thank you for admitting you're a cheat. This tenacious undead is unusually difficult to lay to rest. In addition to sheer strength, the skeleton has the power to revive recently defeated skeletons in its close vicinity. Except I have a holy weapon.
My token.
Because I have a holy weapon, he doesn't actually get to do that. So we'll go ahead and fight. He's going to bring 4 skeletons with him. Pretty typical. There's our Jack. I don't know what vocal cords he used to laugh at me like that.
Shots from rifles cannot be deflected. You would do better to avoid them. Are you agile enough?
So that's the game informing me that there are such things as projectile weapons. No, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. And he's dead. Desperate Measure says hi. So holy weapon, and we gain our card. We're still playing on easy mode here.
Ah, well done. Well done indeed. But you have roused the dead in their dusty tombs, and even I cannot say what will come of it. Now our wager becomes more interesting. Will the tools you've earned suffice to address the challenges I pose? That is the question, is it not?
So what he means there is that by unlocking the skeletons, now we can face skeletons in any following challenge. This will prove to be a pattern later on as we unlock further suits. For diving into the river, we receive the Ring of Survival. For helping the captain of the guards, we receive 2 maces. After all, he said he had plenty. For exploring the Maze of Traps, we receive the Scavenger's Cap. For communing with an ancient god, we receive Warning Signs. For exploring the Dead King's Hall, we receive Treasure Chest. For surviving the Devil's Choice, we receive Devil's Wager. As a reward for defeating the Skeleton Jack, we receive the Crucible, the Queen of Dust, the Helpful Priest, and the Desert Storm. As a reward for defeating the Skeleton Jack, we also receive the Helm of Reflection, the Consuming Shame, Angel's Wing, and Frostfang.
Shall we deal again?
Yes, we shall, but not now. Folks, if you enjoyed seeing the Skeleton Jack being so thoroughly smashed by a gigantic hammer, do hit like, so that way I know to continue doing so. And if you would like to see me continue to be the dealer at his own game, hit subscribe so you'll see when these videos go up every day until the series completion. I'll see you next time.